In C++, it is possible to print multiple output in the same line. That is, print the value of multiple variables using one cout statement. So far, whatever we have done, whenever we wanted to print one variable, we have used a separate cout statement. But it is possible to do it in the same line also. For example, let's say I have two variables, int I equals 10 and then float f equals 20.77, and if I want to print both of them, then we can do something like cout I semicolon followed by another cout f, and if I run this program, then I will see that alright, first 10 have been printed and then 20.77 have been printed. But for printing I and F, I have used separate cout statement every time. Now it is possible to do the exact same thing using only one cout statement. How? Every time you want to print a new variable, you have to use the value of the variable, you have to use this less than symbol. That is cout less than I followed by again this double less than f. And now if I just do this instead of these two separate cout statement, I have just used one cout statement, and if I just run this program, you'll see the same output have been printed. But this time I have used only one cout. So every time you want to print a new variable value, you have to separate it with this less than symbol. So that is about multiple output in a single line. The same way, it is also possible to take multiple input in a single line. For example, how we can do, let's say again, so let it be there like this, and then let's say I have a variable called, let's say, int I1, and then I have a variable called, let's say, float F1. These are two variables. So if I want to take an input, what I can do is cin I1. Also, if I want to take the value for cin F1. So I can do this, and let me get rid of this part of code. So int I1 float F1 cin I1 cin F1. So if I run this program, you will see that program is running, waiting on input from user for cin I1. That is, let's say I gave the value 10. Then hit enter. It is still waiting. Why? Because it is waiting for the second input, that is F1. That is, let's say 20.77. And now if I hit enter, the program terminated and the value have been stored in I1 and F1. If I want to, now this is using two separate cin statement to store two values to two different variables. Now the same way we have done for cout, it is possible for cin also. If I want to do the entire thing in one line, what I can do is cin followed by greater than symbol, then I1, and then again for each variable should be separated by this double greater than symbol, then F1. When we will do that, then if I even delete this two cin statement and keep this line only, and now if I just run it, we'll see the same impact. So program is running, waiting for the first input, that is 10. Hit enter. It is still waiting because it is waiting on the second F1 input. Although they are in the same line, the program is still waiting. So that is it. And now if I just want to check whether the values are stored properly or not, just print their value. Cout I1 followed by F1. So here just see, I have used one single cin statement to take the input for two different variables I1 and F1, followed by I have used only one single cout statement to print the value of both the variables I1 and F1. So let's see what is the output. Run, and so it is waiting on the input, that is, let's say 10, or let's say I1 value I have given as 100, and then F1's value is, let's say, 333.876, a random floating point number value. And now if I hit enter, it should print both. First it has printed 100 and then it has printed 333.876. So this is how you can take multiple output, print multiple output in the same line, and here this is how you can take multiple input in a single line.